I don't know. I'm doing well here. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good.
All right, what's up, guys?
Got Alex as well. Fantastic. The gang's all here.
All
I
right,
didn't
let's
an
start.
avalanche sheet printed.
So, Grant, do you want me to do the
but I
intro
have
now?
2 star sheets. And so I just stapled the avalanche sheet to the back of one of the star sheets.
So, do you want me to start the intro?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
All right. Trying to make sure if my camera is still there because I'm not used to it so far. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 16 of the Powerskateshow podcast series. I'm your host, Alex Stossel, alongside with Grant Flo from Postseason, and we are with the man who gave us the meme from I think it was episode 9 or 8. The man who's a huge fan of Steve Dangle. Please welcome Sam. What's going on, Sam?
The elite The Bruins today disappointed me. First period was awful.
We can get into the Bruins in a little bit. We can certainly get into them. I am just fed up with the Bruins because it's going to be fun. Of course, me and Sam have practically watching the first game. It's going to be a fun show, ladies and gents.
I was happy with the second and third, but that's it.
All right, so since pretty much you guys are mad about the Bruins, what happened to a lock? All right. Anyway, before we get this party started, I ask you guys to please hit the like button. That man greatly appreciates this. That's gonna make me do more podcast videos. And before we start, we want to give our thoughts and prayers go to Jake Muzzin from the rare injury. So hopefully he's doing all right. Which was a bad injury, but in order to make this up, let's do our free agent predictions, shall we? All right, let's start. All right, we're gonna start with. Who should I start? Tyler Ennis from the Edmonton Oilers. He's been quite interesting this season, right?
I knew a scrap with Kajula.
Yeah. So he's 30 years old. His last contract was $1.21 million per year. Will he resign with Edmonton? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start? Tyler Ennis.
Sure. Tyler Ennis is very interesting because he was good for a few years with the Sabres. Then he was kind of meh, and now he's good again. It's interesting to say the least. I would say the Oilers should re-sign him for at least another year or two. Good depth. Oilers are in a playoff team. They're in win-now mode. You might as well keep a guy like him around. He's pretty solid.
Grant?
Yeah, Evolving Hockey has him signing with a different team. I really don't see it. I see him staying in Edmonton on something cheaper than $3 million a year. Not significantly cheaper, but a bit cheaper.
Yeah,
He's a good piece to try and have around. He's absolutely much better in this season than last. I think he's a good piece to have around. They just traded for him, and why wouldn't you keep him around?
Right. Yeah. For me, I would say that Edmonton should bring back Tyler Ennis because from the trade deadline, he went really solid, to be honest with you guys. 16 goals.
Best season in a few years this year.
Yeah, 16 goals, 21 assists, 37 points, 70 games. I think you should re-sign him.
Yeah, I think it's been his best season since 11-12 this year.
Yeah. Next, we got Derek Brassard from the New York Islanders. His last contract was $1.2 million per year. He's 33 years of age. Will he resign with the New York Islanders? Yes or no? Sam, would you like to start Derek Brassard?
I don't think Islanders fans want him back. I think Islanders fans like Derek Brassard very much. And when I look at Derek Brassard, what I see is a guy that he's definitely past his best couple of years. I think he moves somewhere, and he'll probably get to $2 million over 3 years somewhere. He absolutely abysmal last season. Came with I don't want to say a bounce back season this year, but it was somewhat of a bounce back. It was just not his best season. I mean, that would obviously go to his days with the Rangers. You obviously look at Brassard and you see a guy that, he can still give you some good minutes, but He's a veteran piece at this point. Sign somewhere else. Give him 2 years, $2.5 million a year.
Grant, what about you, Derek Brassard?
Derek Brassard is an interesting one. If the Islanders re-sign him, it's only going to be for a 1-year prove-it deal. I agree with him. I think he's going to go elsewhere. I would say Derek Brassard would probably go to a team like maybe Detroit or Buffalo to kind of increase their bottom six. I would think. I think that would make sense. Or maybe a contender will pick him up, or a team who's like near playoff contention, like the Blackhawks.
Buffalo trades Jack Eichel. They'll need some player. They'll need any offensive talent, and even some maybe even cap floor. I mean, they do have Skinner's contract to cap floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I don't see him re-sign with the Islanders because he's pretty much declining right now. He wasn't the guy that he used to be when he was with the Blue Jackets, I believe. That's where he sat there forever. Yeah.
I think he was best in New York with the Rangers.
Yeah.
He was pretty good in both.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was clearly better with the Rangers. He was
Yeah.
his best years were definitely in New York.
Yeah, I could see him go back to Columbus or the Rangers if they don't resign them. I could see him go back to Columbus and the Rangers. Next, so that's 3. Let's go with Tomas Nosek from the Vegas Golden Knights. 28 years old. His last contract was $1 million. Will he resign with the Vegas Golden Knights? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start? Tomas Nosek.
Sure. Nosek scored the game-winning goal in Game 1 of the 2018 Stanley Cup Finals. Honestly, haven't heard of him that much since. To be honest with you, though, he is a pretty good depth piece. I would say the Knights should probably keep him around, although I kind of don't see really where they would place him on the roster, as already this season he's already been a healthy scratch on multiple occasions. But I think overall he is still a pretty solid player to keep around, especially for that playoff run. And, especially with the Knights in win now mode, I just don't see why you would get rid of him. I think a 2-year deal would be perfect for Tomas Nosek.
I don't see a reason to keep him. He's been absolutely abysmal this season. He's been below replacement level this season. I don't know why anyone wants to keep him around. He's a guy that I wouldn't keep around if I were the Knights. I mean, I'd be shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see him in Detroit for a team that just isn't particularly in a competitive mode. Detroit, I would see as a fit, or any team that just needs something in the bottom 6. He's just not good though.
Yeah, for me, I could see him re-sign with Vegas. If he does not, I kind of see him go to the Rangers, probably the Capitals.
Rangers have enough below replacement level players. They don't want another.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't, I kind of see him go to Washington, Nashville, or New
I was
Jersey.
thinking Nashville. Yeah, I was thinking the Predators.
Yeah, or what did I say? New Jersey. If I make a decision, I would say he will not re-sign with Vegas.
I mean, some of these free agents are such a flip of a coin.
Yeah. All right. Tyler Pitlick from the Philadelphia Flyers. His last contract was $1 million. 28 years old. Will he resign with the Philadelphia Flyers? Yes or no? Sam, would you like to start Tyler Pitlick?
I mean, he's a name out there that you see. I wouldn't be shocked if they re-sign him, but I mean they'll probably bring him back. He's a decent piece. He had his best season this year for sure. In his first year with them, he's certainly a guy that they could keep around. He's very good defensively. I wouldn't be shocked if the Flyers kept him around. At around the 2-year. I'd say I'd give him 1 year, but I think Evolving Hockey has him getting a 3-year deal these days. I wouldn't give him $2 million either. I'd say 1.5 million for 1 year. Prove it.
Grant, what about you? Tyler Pitlick.
Yeah, I mean, Pitlick's decent. I know the Flyers have like a lot of very good players already down there in Neon Valley, but I would say just for next year, I could see the Flyers giving him a 1-year deal pretty much. What's up?
Weber scored for Montreal.
Oh, really? Shea Weber? All right. Yeah, certainly. Give us any game update.
Of course it's Shea Weber.
Yeah, right. Well, make sure you give us any scoring updates on any of the exhibition games. That would be nice. But anyway, yeah, no. Pitlick's gonna, I think, resign with Philadelphia for a 1-year deal.
Yeah, for me, I think Tyler Pitlick probably not resign with the Flyers. I could see him go to a team like Vancouver, probably Pittsburgh or Colorado. If I make a decision, he would not resign with the Philadelphia Flyers. Last one, Davey Clarkman. He hasn't played in about 5 years. Just kidding. Tom Kuhnhackl from the New York Islanders. We haven't heard him for a lot. 28 years of age, $850,000. I'm not sure if he's going to resign, but for me, I don't see him resign. I could see him go to a team like Columbus, Toronto, or Detroit. Yeah, I don't see him resign. Grant, would you like to be a Tom Kuhnhackl?
Sure, Thomas Kuhnhackl. Did you see that no-look assist he had on the Matt Martin goal yesterday against the Panthers? Very nice. Other than that, I don't know. He's kind of replacement worthy. He's basically the above-average version of Nosak, in my opinion, if I'm being completely honest with you.
He's better than Nosak.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Like,
So I would probably say
did you say above average? He's also below replacement level. And should I remind you that replacement level is below average?
Well, right. I mean, I was just comparing him to
The last 3 years, Kuhnhackl has been below replacement level.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. He played pretty good as rookie with Pittsburgh, but then he fell off after that.
He's going to barely have a spot in the league next year. No chance he comes in on a playoff team with the Islanders.
Yeah. You know,
I agree. I think he will probably end up going to a team that's really struggling. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Let's do time for one more. Derek England from the Vegas Golden Knights. This has been interesting for many of years. 38 years old, $700,000. Will he resign with Vegas? Yes or no? Grant, would you like to start Derek England?
Sure. I mean, Henrik Londquist's kind of old, and I know when the Knights picked him in the expansion draft, many were projected that he would be traded in a week. Well, that certainly hasn't been the case. Here we are 3 years. I think England, he's good for what he is, but I think he's definitely replaceable, especially with him getting up there in his 30s now. I would probably say the Knights might resign to a 1-year deal, but I wouldn't be shocked if he went walking out and trading with the Islanders. But yeah. All right.
Sam,
I think England 1-year deal or retirement. Choose.
I kind of see go to a team like Pittsburgh. Like I said, Pittsburgh wants some veteran leadership.
I can see that too.
A return from Pittsburgh. I forgot about he played for Pittsburgh. Didn't I forget? Little did I know. Probably Philadelphia or like a contending.
Well, Philadelphia already has a stacked defense. I wouldn't see why the Flyers would need room for him.
Yeah, or maybe Vancouver if anything happens to their defense. Yeah, this is a coin toss for Derek England. Like if I would make this decision, I would say he will re-sign to Vegas. All right, I guess it's time for our topics. Grant, would you like to take over?
Sure. Well, I guess we obviously have to begin with some of the round robin and the qualifying series thus far. And, of course, we already know. Yep, Rangers are swept by the Hurricanes in what could be Henrik Lundquist's last game in a Ranger uniform. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I think overall, the teams that have impressed me the most so far, I got to be honest with you, I'm a bit, obviously, I'm disappointed in the Bruins, and I'm not shocked that the Flyers are doing well, but I thought the Capitals would have been a little bit better Monday against the Lightning. That's just me. And I've also been thoroughly impressed with Minnesota. They are playing very well against Vancouver. I thought Vancouver might have even swept that series against Minnesota. So Vancouver's playing very well as well with such a young forward core and a quick defense. I like what Vancouver's doing, but Minnesota's been kind of surprised me a little bit. Another team that has kind of sort of surprised me a little bit was the Jets for at least game 2 when they pulled off the upset 3-2 against Calgary, a game I was actually on the call for. The Jets looked impressive one game, but then got blown out 6-2 last night. So, well, what do you guys think have been your biggest surprises so far?
Lundqvist scores.
I got notification that the Marlins shut out the O's again. So
Hey, hockey. Only hockey.
I'm sorry, Joe. Anyway, I'm shocked about the Bruins. Tuukka Rask has been out. Halak, I gave Halak high expectations, and I do not know why that he's doing terrible. Okay.
He didn't do terrible. He was fine. He had a couple of bad moments.
Okay. I don't know why Halak is doing bad, but he should do better with Washington the next game. So.
Well, no, Rask is the full-time starter now. But, Halak played Sunday against the Flyers. And, he was good for the most part. Sure, he allowed 4 goals, but, the Bruins defense hardly even showed up. So, you couldn't really put that loss, fully on Halak. It was Sabretooth, sure, he could have saved. For the most part, you couldn't really blame that loss on Sunday against Halak, not at all.
Yeah. All right, so for the next topic, I think this is going to be an interesting one. The Columbus Blue Jackets are planning to bring back their inaugural season jerseys as their alternates for their 20th anniversary season. So if that ever happens, what are your guys' thoughts about if the Blue Jackets should bring back their inaugural season jerseys?
Yeah, I couldn't care less.
Fair enough. I get Saber's point. They look cool, but are they going to get rid of their Cannon jerseys? If they're going to get rid of their Cannon jerseys, I am all not for it.
Why?
Although the jerseys do look cool, their inaugural ones, I wouldn't go for it if they get rid of their Cannon ones. No way.
Why? Why do you don't like the Cannon ones?
No, I love the Cannon ones.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if they're gonna bring back their inaugural season jerseys just to scrap their Cannon jerseys, I'm not for it at all because those are my favorite jerseys in the NHL.
Yeah, have the Cannon be their main logo because they do have a Cannon at Nationwide Arena.
Right.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Next topic. I think I may be a little off, just as a warning. Ilya Samsonov. Yes. Got any bad what did I miss? I think it's an AI.
Yeah, Ilya Samsonov, of course, goalie for the Capitals. The reason why he's actually sitting out the playoffs, it was announced last week that he was going to be sitting out the playoffs due to injuries, and it was announced just yesterday he suffered back and neck injuries while playing in Russia. So, these guys should be in quarantine. They shouldn't be playing hockey. They really shouldn't be getting injured. It's just, this is such a crucial piece for the Capitals because if Hopi played bad, they can't really rely on their backups now. Ilya Samsonov has been a spectacular backup goaltender this year. Capitals don't really have that anymore with the Samsonov injury.
They only have the Hershey guys.
Yeah, I know. It's I just wish Samsonov was a little bit more, carefree, I think is what I'm trying to say. Just wish, he really thought about oh, hey, if I play hockey against my friends or whatever, go to practice, gotta always keep in the back of your mind that, oh crap, I could get injured and not play for the playoffs. And unfortunately he decided to take that risk. And granted, who would have thought he would have gotten injured to begin with, but still overall, I just think, well, Samsonov, I think I just would have just stayed in quarantine, just, maybe practice.
Trade him. Hashtag trade.
It's tough to explain.
Have him go to Seattle because that was brutal. All right.
Yeah,
so,
I think we've definitely. I want to say that we've seen the end of Braden Holtby in Washington, but who's gonna pay him $8 million?
Yeah.
Nobody.
All right. So
I had to think of one team. I would definitely say the Sabres, but even then, why would you want to do
Linus
that?
Ullmark.
Yeah, I know, true. And you already have Luke Solmark and Carter Hutton. It's like you already have two decent goalies already. So it's like, what do you do?
All right. So next topic, I think your good old friend Nazem Kadri, buzzer beater goal.
It was amazing. That was incredible.
Yeah, your good old friend who is a guy who injured one of the Bruins players, suspended the remainder of the playoffs.
Twice. Twice. Did twice against the Bruins. Nazem Kadri is such a great player, and I think it's all safe to say we all three don't really like him that much, but you gotta be realistic here. That last second goal with like 0.2 seconds left, just absolutely incredible. The fact that he was just at the right place at the right time is just truly incredible that he was able to score that goal. And, that was the first moment this NHL player from like, man, I really wish fans were in the crowd. Like, so far, I've been okay with it. The piping and the noise, scoring the goal horns when the team scored, I think that's fine. But when Kadri scored the goal, that was the first official moment where I'm like, man, I really wish fans were in the crowd.
Jason Zucker, it's 2-1.
All right. Penguins now beating the Canadians. But, yeah, no, would you guys agree with that? It's like, oh, man, when Kadri scored that goal, like you wish there was fans in the crowd? Or
yeah, because I'm dying to know what would be the fan reaction like? Because you're seeing like some boneheads on the scoreboard, just say like, "Oh, we scored! That's a Kadri!" Yeah, but
make a good point.
Yeah, I'm dying to know for that. All right, next topic. Grant, would you like to choose any topic of your choice?
Sure. I guess we could go into let's go into it. We mentioned this briefly last week, but Hurricanes defenseman Dougie Hamilton is still dealing with a nagging injury. All right, didn't hurt him at all against the Rangers. Then what if you face that team like Tampa Bay or Washington or Boston or Philadelphia or Pittsburgh? You need a guy like Dougie Hamilton on the blue line. Well, true, maybe not against Pittsburgh, but overall, you need a guy like him back.
Playing him is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, right. I mean,
Dougie Hamilton, he might have even been back for game 4 if it was going to happen. He's back. He's going to be back.
He's good. He's back? Okay, that's good.
He was having a top 5 defenseman season in the league this year. Easily.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at the guys. It's Yossi, Pietrangelo, Ellis, Hamilton, and Hedman. And then
I agree. Dougie Hamilton's been very impressive. I've just been shocked because at first it was like, oh, it's going to be like a day-to-day injury. Now it's almost gone on for like almost 2 weeks. But it does look like, especially now since the actual playoffs won't be starting until sometime next week, it does look like Dougie Hamilton won't be back. So I won't worry too much about Carolina. And I just have to say, thankfully, Jakub Slavin showed up and, the rest of the Hurricanes defense, stood pretty strong. The Hurricanes we talked about before, but they have just such tremendous depth on that defense. This is just absolutely ridiculous. The defensive line is just loaded.
Yeah. Next topic, which just happened like 30 minutes ago. PK Subban on the trade block. Now, luckily,
it doesn't matter.
Luckily, luckily he's not the.
He's one of the 5 worst players in the league this year. He's the most overrated player in hockey. It's not particularly close. He's not only the most overrated player in hockey, he's the most overrated player in sports.
I could definitely agree with that. Yes.
No. You do agree.
So they picked the right person to be on the news, not Brock Besser. You do not want to touch Brock.
That drove me nuts.
Brock Besser gets traded.
That drove me nuts about the Brock Besser rumor. As much as I believe that PK Subban probably won't be traded, at least it kind of makes sense. But what team wants him now?
KHL.
PK Subban's not going to go to the KHL. But I mean, like,
Subban's got a $9 million contract. He is not
exactly. Like, who wants to pay him $9 million for a guy who just got 1 year in the Devils? And, oh my goodness, he's horrible now.
Yeah, who just got slaughtered on national TV every single game. He gets slaughtered game by game by game by game by game.
Oh my God, it's awful. The 2-on-1s he gives up too. It's just atrocious.
Yeah. He's like
Too bad. We're talking about him about 3-4 years ago. We're like, yo, he's definitely a top 5 defenseman in the league. And then you fast forward to 2020, you're like, oh geez, he's garbage now. And what we're thinking like, oh, Picky Subban's on the train block. Like, whoa, this is interesting. But now it's like, oh, he's like the worst defenseman in the league.
For nothing.
Wow, really?
Former Capital.
Colorado really giving it to Dallas there in that round robin game. Jeez.
Yeah. Next topic. Will Henrik Londquist is the Henrik Lundqvist end of an era in New York?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't say retires, but he's definitely not coming back to the Rangers next year.
So, like,
you definitely want to be a backup on a contending team. Like, as much as this would pain Rangers fans to say, like, I think if Hopi leaves, and, Samsonov will obviously be fine by the season, but I think if Hopi leaves, I think Lundqvist might go to Washington. I know that would break Rangers fans' hearts, but I think at this point, if Lundqvist, he's definitely out of New York, and he might as well just ring Chase a year or two before he actually retires for good. That's just my opinion.
If Lundqvist comes to Washington, I would jump off my seat and buy a megaphone that said, "Lundqvist is the capital."
John Tavares is elite.
Yeah, Josh Druce is also elite.
And Josh Harris. Can't forget about Josh Harris.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, gosh. All right, let's not do Steve Dangle impressions. But, yeah, no, Lundqvist should ring Chase. Well, 100%. Usually I'm like, oh, don't ring Chase. But if you're in Lundqvist's case, you ring Chase.
Pull a Raymond Bork.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Raymond Bork.
Thing is ring chasing because the ring depends on you.
Yeah.
Good point. I do see what you mean.
And another topic that just happened like 15 minutes ago. Michael Furland reported that he has left the bubble due to an injury and no further clarification was given.
Well, yeah, he's done.
Yeah. Well, I think he's done for the season, and he's having multiple concussion issues. He missed the whole calendar year, played 8 games, played 1 playoff game.
I get what you mean. I mean, Michael Furland's decent, but for the most part, I mean, you really, I don't think it's gonna be the biggest loss in the world for Vancouver here. Yes, obviously, you wish he was there, but I think overall Vancouver could do a nice job of filling out his spot in the third line.
Yeah. Do you want to pull off another topic?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can get into how about blue center Ivan Barbashev? He's out for the remainder of the round robin to take care of his first-born kid. Though it does look like at least he'll be back for the actual playoffs. Good news for the Blues. The bad news is you already lost one of your exhibition games. You're running into the Knights tomorrow, who played a flawless third period against the Stars on Monday, and now you're losing a very good depth piece in Ivan Barbashev. So,
yeah, I've been a huge.
So is everybody just a very good depth piece?
Well, I think
so
Ivan
basically,
Barbashev
in your book, you're either a top 6 forward or a very good depth piece. Look, I'm not slandering Ivan Barbashev, who I think is just fine. I don't think he's
right.
I don't think he's particularly good.
Yeah. One more.
I gotta. But just give me a few.
Oh, you gotta go.
Just I have a few minutes.
Oh, all right. Yep, sounds good. Yeah, definitely leave me. That's no problem.
He was below replacement level this year. So, in your opinion, everybody in the league is either a top 6 forward or a solid depth piece. That's basically what you've given me.
You make a fair point there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like certain guys who I'm like, oh yeah, they shouldn't like be on a team. But I mean, like Ivan Barber said though, like he does perform very well. I mean, yes, he took a down year compared to last year, but well, yeah, no, he is replacement level. I'm just saying.
He was below replacement level last year.